The following video is going to be kind of a review of a dead product called LegionRust or Rust Legion, depending on which pages you look at. It's usually just LegionRust. The website still exists for it, but the project was shut down at one point. This was a 2015 to 2025, or maybe even more years, heavily altered version of Rust, according to some of the videos you watch. Other times it looks very generic. It heavily relied on Discord and required an email address and a password, and you had to set up an account. Meanwhile, you can just download Rust Legacy from rustlegacy.eu or many other sites and to get something that's about 0.98 gigabytes and you're done. 980 megabytes of an old program from 10 years ago or more, it's fine. You had to submit a ticket for your email confirmation, and it went to legionrust.com/helpdesk so that you could use the product. Now, what was this? It also had the Discord app invite because it was really just about getting Discord joiners. LegionRust used a 2016 August 9th, 1 a.m. generic, unpatched 0.98 gigabyte Rust client, which means it was the same thing you would get off of Steam. It's a pretty good source, except it was bloated up with over 4 gigabytes of files under another directory that were zero fills, meaning they had nothing in them. They were placeholders. They were labeled PNG or whatever, and instead of those being removed because they obviously aren't needed, because I'll explain why in a minute, those were included in the download. Because they had zeros in them, they compressed heavily down, so the file you downloaded looked the same size, but it was a bunch of extra file space. Now, this might have been done as a rather loose way of hacking the game, but when I removed all of them, they're under the bundles directory, the extra directory structures under the bundles, and then grabbed the patches that do work from rustlegacy.eu in their directory structure for the 2015 version even. I only had to copy over files until the darn thing worked correctly. The unpatched client needed their 2016 to 2018 anti-cheat launcher as the latest copy that I can find. And it was called FShield. And, well, here we go. 2024, January 7th, FShield version 2 was approved by Microsoft, and I have an archive of it that ends in HRUCT. That meant that it wasn't scanned as a virus. But June of the same year, X number of months later, that 2 megabyte FShield Client.exe was detected as a Win32 EXE Dll injector and a malware threat, still on other websites. The only way to find their original download file, all it leads to is you finding it being scanned by somebody on that day. The server wipe happened 2 months later, a little over 2 months later. Last one, the server shut down, and that was in August 2024 on the 21st. LegionRust.com/fshield-anticheat.html linked to a forever 404 file at API-fshield.net/files/get ? File name equals fshield.client.exe. And when you try to look it up, every file from the directory structure, archive.org was told essentially by their server not to record anything, or nobody bothered with it. This went through so many layers of convolution that I can't find FShield to even see if I can make it work or even virus scan it again. Now, about the 5 gigabyte version of a 1 gigabyte Rust client, it is almost what I would call Rust Legacy Final. That's what this video is going to be called. Inadvertently, it's still up. Mediafire.com/file/string of numbers or mega.nz # a whole string of characters. I was able to download it, and again, under the bundles directory or whatever else you want to call it, I was able to remove the excess zero. I mean, all the files are filled with zeros. I checked for there's zero fill files. These are the kind of thing you overwrite a hard drive if you're trying to keep people from recovering stuff from it. It looks like a zero overwrite. And they may have been there for some purpose that FShield needed, but it's 5 gigabytes instead of 0.98. Anyway, I'll have the links below in the description. It does work. You just have to grab files again from rustlegacy.eu and copy them over. Now, I'm going to sudo live do this. I'm going to go into the, this is LegionRust, or Rust 2016, basically. And the 2016 versions from Rustbuster and from some people's personal uploads of the game that were put up, some of them including their last game and some of their scores and stuff, were still in the temp files. They're all from around 2016 when it was being shut down. This is Rust Legacy Final. And I'll just give you a basic here on the LegionRust. You would go into the bundles directory, and if you sort by size real quick, you should see the first file on top be 216 megabytes, then 114 megabytes, 109 megabytes, and 101 megabytes, okay? Then you would see, if you sort them by name, should sort by directory structure, a whole stack of directories, name, textures, and etc. The directories aren't needed, okay? Just a quick tutorial on this. Next. To get this to work, if you download a copy of Rust Legacy 2015, I mean, this would be a mild improvement. You would need to overwrite some extra files. Now, the first one is that you would go into bundles, if you're not aware of it, and well, no, that I already went over that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Rust data and then managed. So you'd be at LegionRust 2016, or whatever I'm going to call it, Rust data and then managed, and you'll see assembly C#. And the one you want is going to be, again, from rustlegacy.eu's version that you download, that you probably already have. You'll want the one that's it's just under 3 megabytes. Rename the old assembly-C# DLL to old, and you should be fine. And then the rest of it will still say 2016 August 9th, 1:01 a.m. Those are the time and date stamps throughout it. That looks like a very recent update. I'm currently running Rust 2016. That's from May, okay? And it works fine. Then the rest of the directory structures, I modified the screen selector in the Rust, LegionRust, whatever, /Rust data, and I put into it the time and date stamp over the top that says 2016 August Final, or Rust Final, we could call it that. The next thing is, to make this thing behave, I'm going to list the files that you'll need to copy from Rust Legacy 2015 download. Which again, these are 1 gigabyte files when you expand them. When you download them, they're 300 to 500 megabytes, depending on the compressor. And again, we don't use Trust Me Bro installers. This one actually lets you download an actual extractable file. It might be 7-zip or zip, but you can extract it. And then you can virus scan it, which I have. Okay. And the files are from 2016. Any viruses that could be in them, it's not going to be there. So, aside from the directory structures all having the time and date stamp of whenever you extracted it, and it may even do that, some unzippers use the current time and date stamp and don't show you the real time and date stamps. Files I copied over from rustlegacy.eu's version. Rename.exe or whatever it is for changing your name on the server. The Steam Client DLL, Steam _API DLL, the Steam _app ID.txt file, and then the Valve API.dll and the Luma EMU.ini from 2025 or whatever it is that you get, and the serverless.ini, even though I don't think it's really needed, and unofficial servers.txt, and the Lima EMU _Steam client log file. If you see it, you don't have to copy them. So it works out to basically being really just about a half dozen extra files. You don't have to overwrite the rust.exe file. It'll run just fine. The Rust exes that are newer from, let's say, May forward, have a little thing underneath the the smiley face, or the dead face is what it really is for face punch. The punched face is what I think it's called internally, but I call it the dead face. It has a progress bar that shows up for that version of Rust from 2016 forward, somewhere in May. So other than that, Steam API.old is in here from the old copy, and its file size is 103K. The new one, the Steam API, is supposed to be, let's see, 92K bytes. It's missing a bunch of code, had new codes in. Some of the code's been moved to the another DLL someplace else. That's how this hack was done, so the game would still work. And that, combined with the one under Rust Data Managed, the assembly-c#.dll, allow us to have a list of servers to work with. And final comment on this. LegionRust was a one-trick pony, where it was mostly designed just to run their exclusive client and server, and that's fine. And I was able to almost get it running a couple of times. That's nice, but they dropped it, and it tries to run it. There is a text file in the computer, if you're not aware of it, under the config file as part of the client config in some copies. I'm going to see if it's in this one right now, where it would have the last server it went to, and you could hit the refresh button if you could get the thing on the screen. Mine wouldn't even work correctly because, of course, it wasn't cracked, hacked, or wackety-whacked. But no, it doesn't even contain that either. So this was literally a generic client with seemingly a bunch of zero-fill files thrown into it, just so you had to run their utility on it. Now, the thing is, they kept downloading using Steam command, or Steam, the cleanest copy of Rust Legacy. So this is a good, clean copy. But again, repeating myself, you have to go into the bundles directory, look for the directory structures, and remove them. And it goes from being 5 gigabytes with a bunch of bulk that has nothing in it down to 0.98 gigabytes and works just fine. But you're going to have to patch it using the Rust Legacy files. And this, I think, would be a decent update because it is newer files in some cases. But other than that, I'm not seeing any real difference between it and the 2015 version you can get off of rustlegacy.eu. And again, emphasis added. Don't tolerate mystery meat downloads, and trust me, bro, installers. This is unzippable. It works fine. Is it worth bothering trying to find the Rust Legion original files that were able to make it to where it could do this neato Frito thing where you could use this by using FShield? If you can find a copy, maybe. I don't know. I would like to get all of the individual launchers for each special purpose downloaded and tested to see if I can integrate them together, so you can click FShield or the Rust Roam launcher or the Rust Relic launcher that lets you use. Basically, these are all 2014 builds in most cases, or the 2015 and 2016 build for Rust, and it gave us the ability to play the game on various servers. I want to point out that right now, Rust Relic and Rust Roam are the only two alternative or special purpose ones that require this that I know of, that are reasonably safe to download and use. And even again, they still use the Trust Me Bro installers, which I won't do. So I extract them by force and test them anyway. But yeah, the fact that this required that you go on Discord, get your email address and password and all this kind of stuff worked out, and blah, 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 instead of just downloading it, running it, and playing, no. And also, you had to submit tickets at their website to get things fixed. Nope. And again, 5 gigabytes when really it's only 0.98? Again, a big nope. But it's newer files. So that's my review of LegionRust Client and anti-cheat launcher. And as much as I can do. And it's sad that the project died last year. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it.